A nation in North America is called Canada. It is the second largest nation in the globe in terms of total area, with its 10 provinces and 3 territories spanning from the Atlantic to the Pacific and northward into the Arctic Ocean. Canada is the country with the largest coastline in the world. Canada, which is the one of best country in the world to live in, is so large that it has a large number of tourist resorts. However, in this video, we will check about 10 destinations that you must visit. Stay till the end of the video and see if it is what you expected. Number 10, Prince Edward's National Park. A Canadian national park called Prince Edward Island National Park is situated in the province of Prince Edward Island. The park, which fronts the Gulf of St. Lawrence and is located along the island's north shore, is around 60 kilometers long and varies in width from a few hundred meters to several kilometers. The park, which was founded in 1937, has as part of its duty to safeguard its several large sand beaches, sand dunes, freshwater wetlands, and salt marshes. Because of the endangered piping plover's need for nesting habitat, the park has been named a Canadian Important Bird Area. Sand beaches are accompanied by red cliffs and wind-sculpted dunes, as well as gentle surf. Ride a bike down the coast, enjoy a picnic under a lighthouse, and watch herons wade in rocky coves. Hike through forests and through ponds while keeping an eye out for red fox, ducks, and warblers. Then, proceed to one of the numerous beaches to create magnificent sandcastles. Prince Edward Island National Park is a huge playground for kids of all ages. At dusk, toast marshmallows over a campfire while listening to stories and music. Prince Edward Island, the island where this park is located, has many other beautiful places that you should visit. It is a very good place for lighthouse spotting, see red sandstone cliffs, walk the boardwalks, and cycling. Enjoy the beautiful sea breeze. Number 9, Whistler. North of Vancouver, British Columbia, sits the town of Whistler, which is also the location of Whistler Blackcomb, one of the biggest ski resorts in North America. At the Olympic Park, a location for the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics, visitors may participate in snowshoeing, tobogganing, and ski jumping in addition to skiing and snowboarding. The center of Whistler is a small, pedestrian-only community in the chalet style at the foot of Whistler and Blackcomb slopes. Every year, more than 2 million people travel to Whistler, mostly for the alpine skiing, snowboarding, and mountain biking at Whistler Blackcomb. Major ski publications have consistently ranked Whistler among the finest vacation spots in North America since the mid-1990s, and its pedestrian village has garnered multiple architectural accolades. Whistler was the site of the majority of the alpine, Nordic, luge, skeleton, and bobsled competitions during the 2010 Winter Olympics. Number 8, Whitehorse. Yukon Territory in northwest Canada has Whitehorse as its capital. The Miles Canyon basalt cliffs, where a historic gold rush settlement once stood, lie to the south. The SS Klondike, a reconstructed sternwheeler that originally cruised the Yukon River, is located north of the Whitehorse Fishway fish ladder along the Yukon River Loop Trail, which leaves the canyon. Views of the northern lights may be had in the north at the winter. Neighborhoods in Whitehorse are frequently divided from one another by significant physical characteristics, as a result of the city's distinctive urban development goals and varied topography. 2 subdivisions are situated at the same height as the Yukon River, in addition to the city's central business district on the west side of the river. One of the city's oldest neighborhoods, Riverdale, may be reached by crossing the bridge to the river's east bank. The route up Grey Mountain from Riverdale goes to Grey Mountain Cemetery and the nearby FM radio tower. Huge crowds come to Whitehorse every year to see the northern lights. However, in addition to this, you can visit Whitehorse's beautiful Arts Underground, Mining Museum, Miles Canyon, Takini Hot Springs, Yukon Transportation Museum in Whitehorse. In fact, if you are a person who likes to visit Northern Ely, then definitely use Whitehorse as your choice. Number 7. Montreal. The capital of Canada's Quebec province is Montreal, the most populous city in the Canadian province of Quebec. Montreal is also the second most populated city overall in Canada. The city is located 258 kilometers southwest of Quebec City and 196 kilometers east of Ottawa, the nation's capital. The climate of Montreal is categorized as a warm, humid continental climate. Summers are mild to hot and humid, with daily maximum temperatures averaging 26 to 27 degrees Celsius in July, and frequently exceeding 30 degrees Celsius. In contrast, in the early and late summer, cold fronts can bring crisp, dry, and windy weather. Winter weather is often cold, snowy, windy, and occasionally ice, with daily average temperatures in January ranging from 10.5 to 9 degrees Celsius. However, a few winter days are above freezing, resulting in an average of 4 days of rain each month in January and February. The first or second week of December through the last week of March on average sees snow covering some or all of the bare land. Even though the air temperature never drops below 30 degrees Celsius each year, exposed skin frequently feels as though it does because of the wind chill. Montreal is a big, bustling, exciting city with a ton of things to see and do. There will be plenty of time for leisurely strolls and bike rides, park picnics, street art searches, and exploring the city's numerous attractions. We encourage you to look into the many moments the city has to offer. Consider these as small informational appetizers to whet your appetite for the extensive smorgasbord of options you will have when you arrive. You'll get more individualized suggestions on topics related to moments the more you engage and enjoy them. Prepare yourself for a few surprises along the road since it's Montreal and that's a given. Number 6. Quebec City. The majority French-speaking province of Quebec in Canada is where Quebec City is located on the St. Lawrence River. Its fortified colonial heart, Vieux Quebec and Place Royale, with its stone buildings and winding lanes, dates to 1608. The majestic Citadel of Quebec and the soaring Chateau Frontenac Hotel are located in this neighborhood. Bistros and shops surround the cobblestone lanes of the Petit Champlain neighborhood. The St. Lawrence River narrows close to the peninsula of Quebec and its Cape Diamond. Therefore the Algonquian people originally called the region Quebec, an Algonquian term meaning, where the river narrows. In 1608, explorer Samuel de Champlain established a French town nearby under the name of the local Algonquin people. One of North America's oldest European cities is Quebec City. The only intact defensive city walls in the Americas north of Mexico are the ramparts around Old Quebec. The historic district of Old Quebec was designated as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1985. There are 4 different seasons in Quebec City. The heat index in the summertime is high despite the typical high and low temperatures of 22 to 25 degrees Celsius and 11 to 13 degrees Celsius, which are generally warm and occasionally hot. With typical high temperatures of 5 to 8 degrees Celsius and lows of 13 to 18 degrees Celsius, winters are chilly, windy, and snowy. Despite being brief, spring and fall provide cool to mild weather. Both Indian summers and late heat waves are frequent occurrences. When you imagine Quebec City, you probably think of Old Quebec. You get the impression that you are roaming around Europe as you go through the streets. You may get an insight into the history of European colonization in North America at this UNESCO World Heritage Site. A guided tour may also be scheduled here. breathtaking Montmorency Falls in Parc de la Chute Montmorency. These falls are 30 meters taller than Niagara Falls. Did you know that? To get a better look at the falls, you may ride a cable car to the top and then down the 487 stairs. Number 5. Victoria. British Columbia's capital, Victoria, is located on the rugged southern tip of Vancouver Island. It is well recognized for outdoor activities and has a lot of parks. The Victorian architecture of the city, particularly the opulent Craigdarroch Castle residence, is a legacy of its British colonial heritage. One of the numerous formal gardens in the city is Butchart Gardens, which has 55 acres of vibrant flower displays along with sculpture, water features, and a carousel. Victoria has something for everyone's interests, whether they are active and educational or restful and restorative. This is one reason why Travel Plus Leisure readers named Victoria one of the top 10 cities in North America in 2015. Visit the renowned Royal BC Museum, take a tour of 125-year-old heritage structures, or see the variety of marine life along our shore. Whatever you decide, embrace everything Victoria has to offer in addition to what you see and do. Number 4. Vancouver. Vancouver, a bustling seaport on British Columbia's west coast, is one of the densest and most ethnically diverse cities in the country. It is a well-liked movie site and boasts vibrant theater, music, and art scenes in addition to being surrounded by mountains. The Museum of Anthropology holds notable First Nations collections, while the Vancouver Art Gallery is well renowned for its paintings by local painters. Vancouver, which is situated on the Burrard Peninsula, is bounded to the north by Burrard Inlet and to the south by the Fraser River. Vancouver Island protects the Strait of Georgia from the Pacific Ocean to the west. The city is located in the Pacific Time Zone and the Pacific Maritime Ecozone and has a total area of 115.18 square kilometers, encompassing both flat and steep terrain. It's still a popular misperception that the city is on Vancouver Island since up to the city's name in 1885, Vancouver referred to Vancouver Island. Both the island and the city bear Captain George Vancouver of the Royal Navy's name. The city has walk roads where you can walk freely, very beautiful water parks, forest parks, gardens full of beautiful wildlife. Number 3. Banff. In the Canadian province of Alberta, the resort community of Banff is situated inside Banff National Park. Its skyline is dominated by the Rocky Mountain peaks of Mt. Rundle and Mt. Cascade. Boutiques and restaurants coexist with chateau-style hotels and gift stores on Banff Avenue, the major avenue. Elk and grizzly bears live in the 6,500 square kilometer parks around the area. Some of the most breathtaking alpine sites in the world have a long history, including Banff and Lake Louise. The activities in Banff and Lake Louise are boundless and include easy access to pristine nature, unending outdoor excursions, breathtaking landscapes, and a thriving history and culture. You can experience outdoor activities like skiing, hiking, ice skating, hot spring, camping, sightseeing and tours in Banff and Lake House, climbing in Banff. In the same way, you can increase your satisfaction even more by visiting Banff National Park. 3 routes linking the town, Tunnel Mountain, the Banff Springs Hotel, and the Banff Gondola are part of the Rome local bus system, which the Banff Council introduced in June 2008. 4 hybrid Nova buses, each adorned with images from a national park, are used to transport customers. There are 3 different paths. The road leading to Sulphur Mountain is Route 1. Route 2 leads to Tunnel Mountain. Route 3 connects Banff with neighboring Canmore. There are displays at many bus stations along the routes that display the precise time remaining before the arrival of the following 2 buses. Added to the bus system in December 2012 was the hourly Route 3 service between Banff and Canmore. Number 2, Toronto. A significant Canadian city located on the northwest side of Lake Ontario is Toronto, which serves as the province of Ontario's capital. The famous, freestanding CN Tower dwarfs the city's core of tall buildings, which are part of a vibrant metropolis. In addition, Toronto offers a lot of green places, from the tidy circle of Queen's Park to the 400-acre High Park with its trails, sports venues, and zoo. The maximum north-south distance in Toronto, which has a total size of 630 square kilometers, is 21 kilometers. On the northwest side of Lake Ontario, it has a 46-kilometer waterfront frontage and a maximum east-west distance of 43 kilometers. A partially protected Toronto Harbour may be found south of the downtown area thanks to the Toronto Islands and Portlands that extend out into the lake. Southeast of the city's center, an outer harbor was built between the 1950s and 1960s. It is currently a recreation area. Lake Ontario to the south, Marie Curtis Park's western boundary, Etobicoke Creek, Eglinton Avenue, and Highway 427 to the west, Steeles Avenue to the north, the Rouge River, and the Scarborough-Pickering Town Line to the east are the boundaries. Toronto welcomed 27.5 million visitors in 2018. Contributing $10.3 billion to the city's economy. 186, over 47 million people visit the Toronto Eaton Centre each year. The Path Network, the biggest underground shopping complex in the world, as well as Kensington Market and St. Lawrence Market are additional commercial locations that draw travelers. The Toronto Islands, which are near Toronto's downtown, do not allow private automobiles past the airport. The CN Tower, Casa Loma, the plays and musicals in Toronto, Yonge Dundas Square, and Ripley's Aquarium of Canada are among further tourist attractions. Number 1, Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls, Ontario, a city in Canada near the eponymous waterfalls, is connected to the United States by the Rainbow Bridge. The Horseshoe Falls, the largest component of the Cascades, are visible from its location on the western bank of the Niagara River. Visitors can travel by elevator to a lower, wetter viewing area behind the falls. A promenade runs alongside the 520-foot-tall Skylon Tower, which has an observation deck, in a park on a cliff. 3 waterfalls collectively known as Niagara Falls are located at the southern end of Niagara Gorge and form the boundary between the Canadian province of Ontario and the American state of New York. Horseshoe Falls, which crosses the international border between the 2 nations, is the greatest of the 3. The Canadian Falls is another name for it. Within the country are the Lesser American Falls and Bridal Veil Falls. With both islands located in New York, Bridal Veil Falls is separated from Horseshoe Falls by Goat Island and from American Falls by Luna Island. A huge number of people come every year to see the Niagara Falls, which is about 99 meters high. So, if you are traveling in Canada or someone who is looking to travel, we think that these places will definitely be chosen. Because it is so beautiful. Also, if you have visited these places in Canada, we respectfully invite you to comment and share your experience with others. In the same way, contact these stations and tell other people to know the good destinations to visit in other Canada by commenting below. See you again in a new video. Have a nice day. So for today we will say goodbye. See you again in a new video. Always travel with safe. Be sure not to pollute any tourist spots. Let's protect our beautiful environment by disposing of garbage at the designated places. Stay tuned to discover your travel destination with Touroopi. Follow us on social media now. Thank you.